This Tuesday we got no updates, no patch notes, no hotfix, nothing pushed live. But that doesn't mean nothing happened. With Shrouded Sky arriving on February the 24th, Embark has been laying groundwork instead of shipping a build. We got a hurricane map condition deep dive, an official response to the recent exploit chaos, and fresh clarification on aggression-based matchmaking. So today we're breaking all of that down, what it means right now and what we should realistically expect when the second major update of the year finally lands. Quick reminder, if you find this type of content valuable, consider liking and subscribing. Let's get into it. Embark just dropped a new map condition preview ahead of the Shrouded Sky update, introducing Hurricane as the next major map condition. And this isn't just cosmetic, it's a full gameplay modifier, much like Cold Snap, designed to shake up how topside plays once the update arrives on February 24th. The post opens up with a narrative setup. The Rust Belt's climate is unstable. Southern Italy is about to get walloped by powerful winds and violent conditions that will force raiders to adapt or die trying. Hurricane brings 4 major gameplay impacts. Wind now affects traversal directly. A tailwind makes you faster and more agile. Headwinds drain stamina, slow movement, and disrupt pacing. Throwables like grenades will have altered trajectories. Jumping, smoke, and gas behavior all change in the gusts. This is a deliberate shift. We're no longer fighting only arc enemies and hostile raiders. We're fighting the environment itself. And Hurricane seems far more disruptive than Cold Snap ever was. Wind now directly influences stamina and positioning, which could also significantly impact both PvE and PvP. Responding to this environment will require adjustment, movement, and tighter resource management. The hurricane forces debris into the air, and fragments will impact shields. Instead of being a clean defensive buffer, shield can now glitch, spark, and degrade under continuous debris hits. That changes decision making. Do you keep your shield up and risk it degrading, or do you put it away and risk exposure? This is one of the more interesting design intersections so far. Environmental damage interacts directly with player loadouts. It may force players to rethink how they move through the storm. Keep protection and sacrifice clarity, or drop protection and gamble on awareness. That leads neatly into the next element. Low visibility during Hurricane drastically reduces sightlines. Arc encounters become more chaotic, raider engagements become less predictable, but there's nuance. Limited visibility also creates opportunity. If you drop your shield, you're easier to miss. Staying hidden may be more valuable than being armored. This pushes playstyle diversity. The storm becomes a tactical layer that can work in either team's favor, depending on how it's leveraged. But the storm isn't just punishment. It uncovers raider caches, hidden first wave relics revealed by the hurricane. High risk, high reward. You can hunker down and extract safely, or push deeper for rare loot while the map actively works against you. To sum the whole thing up, Hurricane alters stamina, visibility, shield durability, and loot routing. On paper, this goes well beyond simple weather visuals like Night Raid, and arguably beyond Cold Snap 2. This feels like full environmental integration into the core gameplay loop of Arc Raiders, and yes, I am very excited. The teaser trailer also previewed new outfits, but what grabbed most attention? Beards. Facial hair is finally being added. We don't know whether facial hair will be integrated into base character customization with some premium styles, or added as standalone cosmetics. It's also worth noting that the raider face shown at the end appears new. Hopefully that means expanded character creation, more faces, and potentially more voices. Right now, customization feels kinda limited. Everyone ends up running the similar faces, hairstyles, and voices, so this is a much welcome change. Looking at the escalation roadmap, Shrouded Sky still includes a new arc threat, a new player project, a new raider deck, and a map update. I won't speculate heavily, though people already are. Some think the flickering light in the teaser hints at a new Arc variant, possibly tied to the color shift from orange to red when detecting players. Nothing is confirmed though. As for the player project and raider deck, I suspect many players will wait until after the wipe to complete them. The two skins shown at the end of the teaser may be tied to those systems. The most interesting unknown is the map update. We don't know how substantial it is or which map it affects. Developers previously teased the possibility of Shredders escaping Stellamontis. If that happens, outdoor maps could suddenly feel very different. Now, all of this sounds exciting on paper, and I would be lying if I said I wasn't feeling some hype. But here's the concern. Embark's track record with map condition rotation. Rotation remains a frequent complaint in Arc Raiders. Players who play at consistent times, evening for example, often miss content entirely due to how rotation windows work. Bird City during headwinds was the most obvious example. It was only available 3 times per day initially. Most players couldn't access it. Embark eventually extended its lifespan and increased its frequency, but broke the rotation system in the process. So yes, I'm very cautious. Sometimes the handling of map conditions feels like incompetence. Other times it feels like artificial retention design. Either way, Embark needs to make Hurricane available at all times to succeed. Negativity aside, I cannot wait to jump in on February the 24th. Instead of patch notes, Embark published a dedicated follow-up on the exploit situation that has dominated discourse. This is their official conclusion. The investigation has wrapped. They claim the delay was intentional, prioritizing fairness and accuracy over reaction. They acknowledge the root cause was a design flaw, not just player behavior, but also state that exploitation had real impact on the in-game economy and player experience. Rather than blanket bans, they have implemented a tiered enforcement system based on severity, intent, frequency, and economic impact, and actions range from warnings to coin removal to suspensions for the worst offenders. This is more nuanced than many expected, not permanent bans across the board, but targeted enforcement. Embark frames this as both corrective action and learning opportunity. They claim improvements to detection tools, review workflows, and exploit safeguards. Whether that restores trust remains to be seen. Now, personally, I've criticized Embark heavily. I've argued that Arc Raiders doesn't fully function as a PvP-first experience due to optional wipes, stash-based rewards, and aggression-based matchmaking discouraging risk. I also believe games like Marathon could siphon frustrated players if Arc Raiders doesn't stabilize. So seeing Embark respond in a structured and data-driven way, that's much needed. With player counts declining month over month, stabilization is critical. This update, combined with enforcement clarity, may be exactly what the game needs before major releases like Marathon or Crimson Desert arrive. And that transitions us into our final topic, aggression-based matchmaking. One of the most divisive systems in Arc Raiders is how the game decides who you're matched with, specifically how PvP behavior influences lobbies. At launch, player noticed a pattern. Some matches felt cooperative, others felt like bloodbaths. Interviews with Robert Samelin and Patrick Söderlund confirmed that player behavior factors into matchmaking. Recently, PC Gamer spoke with design director Virgil Watkins. He clarified several things. First, aggression-based matchmaking isn't their internal term. Second, it's not binary. There are no strictly friendly or aggressive lobbies. The system evaluates long-term behavioral trends across multiple rounds. One defensive kill won't doom you, and one firefight won't exile you. It tracks patterns, not isolated moments. Post-match surveys, they do not affect matchmaking. From a design standpoint, Arc Raiders needs tension to function, but Embark was surprised by how many players gravitated towards safer experiences. Abmm attempts to let extreme playstyles coexist without constant friction. It's not moral judgment, it's population management. Is it perfect? No. The system remains opaque, and opacity breeds superstition. But according to Embark, occasional PvP will not lock you into permanent sweat lobbies. Whether that reassurance rebuilds trust is another question entirely. That should cover it for this week in Arc Raiders. It's a bit early to call it that. Real life has me busy, but we had a lot to unpack. I'm really excited for Shrouded Sky. It's disappointing we didn't get a patch Tuesday, but it's also understandable with a major update this close. It's also good to see Embark address the exploit situation directly. For transparency, I tested the duck dupe myself and walked away with around 200k profits. I received no penalty, warning, or coin removal. That suggests enforcement focused on the worst offenders. All in all, a solid informational week. Now it comes down to execution. My name is Hart, and thank you for watching. Take care of each other when going topside, and happy raiding.